Cheers. Okay, I'm going to take all of these little bits that I drew and work on some cards. Let's see. That, some of that. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we got here. See if I have enough stuff to make 4. Okay, and I'm gonna cut out some stuff. I like tearing this, but I also like cutting it. I don't have a favorite. I just kind of toggle between them. Tearing is really satisfying and also looks cool. The cutting makes it look a little neater and tidier, and also I like cutting. So. I may separate that one later, but I'm going to keep it together for now. A lot of these I drew on my last video, the hand drawing video. Okay. Cut some more cats and then we'll get started. There's 2 cats and 3 cats. 3 cats, 3 cards. All right. Let's see what we can make these cards look like now, huh? I'll be right back. I have to get my glue paper. Okay, this is my handy dandy glue paper that I use all the time for gluing. And I think I'm gonna just put some glue down on 3 of them, and then what's the word? Start collaging. I've been using this Oohoo or Yoo-hoo, I don't really know how to say it, glue sticks. I like them. They seem to have a good adhesion, and they're non-toxic, and they're nature-based. I don't know if that means they'll last very long, but it's worth giving it a shot. See if I can make my stand a little bit less shaky. Wow, that was annoying because I paused the video to move my stand so it wasn't shaking, and I didn't remember that, and I glued paper on all 3 of these. However, I have more gluing to do, so you didn't miss a whole lot. Because now I need to figure out some brown paper to go on the front of these cards. But I think the only thing you really missed is my dialogue, which was, I'm having a heck of a time creating through all this crazy war shit. I don't know. It's just insanity. But art is always the answer for me. So here we are doing the thing. I think this is going to be this cat's card. I like having a little bit of cats ready for me, so I can play with that option, like play with the composition. And these are the cats and nature pieces I drew the other day. So yeah, so last week was hard. This week has been a challenge, but I'm feeling like I'm getting my groove back. I just had a couple of, nothing really major, just dealing with the world events, processing all of that, and also a change in my schedule. So it's kind of was a little bit of a pattern interrupt for me, but I think, you know, I'm on the other side of it now, maybe, at least the pattern interrupt part. I know that there's probably going to be more craziness going on, but every time we can get through some of it, I feel more confident that we can get through some of it again. But we shouldn't have to, you know? There's so many things that we shouldn't have to do right now, but we are. But art is definitely a way through it. Sometimes I feel like it's the only way through it, you know, because it really helps my brain. And then I don't know why I don't do it enough, because it helps me so much, and then I don't do it for 3 days or something, you know? Why is that? Okay, that's the front of another card. So I got the fronts of 2 cards. The bases are kind of ready to work with, but after I do the fronts of all 3, then I'll flip them over and start working on the backs. These are just the Dollar Tree mathematic flashcards that I got before I'd even started or thought of this project. I knew I wanted to kind of repurpose some cards. Since then, I have been saving tons, I'll put an overlay, tons and tons of cardboard. So I don't think I need to buy flashcards ever again. And it makes me feel good to repurpose and reuse and recycle. Because I'm not sure that the services that are out there are really doing that. I've heard mixed thoughts on that. Like, do the things really get recycled? Or is it all a facade? This is really patchy, but that's okay. Keeping things, mixing it up. I think collage is so fun because that's the thing, is you can detach from the outcome. I think a lot maybe easier than painting. I don't know. I'm just seeing what I like and how it feels, and if I want it to do that. And I didn't really get the tear I wanted, but that's okay. Yeah, I just, I'm wondering if I've tapped into something that I really enjoy by finding collage through this process. Okay. So now I need to decide what I'm trimming off, because I don't want to start on the back with all of this. It's harder to cut if I glue things down over top of the overhang. So I'm going to figure out what I want to keep and cut off the rest. And I'm just going to do it as I do it. So like, I'm just going to figure it out and cut it as I do it. I'm going to keep that one. And I think I'm going to keep that one and that one. I'm going to cut off this side. And then I'm going to tear this some and cut that off there. Alright, so we're going to, everything that's sticking out is going to fold over onto this side. So we'll go through and figure that out on all of them. So I'm going to cut off this shape on this side. Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to cut off. I'm going to cut off this because the little tiny pieces don't tend to fold over very good. Okay, so that one's ready. And then this one, I'm just going to cut off this little bit here because it's layered and it's not going to fold. Feels so good to be working again and not, you know, working on art again. That's the words. Feels good. Okay, so if you look back to the other cards, I usually have a black and white element, which is what I've been drawing. On the front, I have a cat, and newsprint and tissue paper. So we'll do the cat and the tissue paper at the same time. And then on the back I have a black and white element, newsprint, brown paper, tissue paper. So on the back we need a little bit of everything. The only thing that's different is instead of a cat I do a black and white element, and then sometimes I hide a little cat in there like that. It's not really hidden, but you know, just a little cat is in there in one way or the other. So we're gonna get some brown and newsprint on this side. I think I might make this card in completion after I get this side done, and then we'll move back over to the others. I don't really want a lot of print on this one. There we go, that's good. I don't really know, I just think of when I'm doing it, I see and I go, oh yeah, I don't want that, or I do want that. Like I make little decisions, which is interesting because I can get decision fatigue in regular life, but over here I'm just making decisions left and right. Like it's no big deal. And then this is where I will have like a black and white drawing element and some more tissue paper. I'm gonna cut that, or yeah, I'm gonna cut that. Okay, and then let's put some tissue paper on. I think I like the, what is it called? The variation between cutting and tearing. Like I'm doing both, and I kind of like doing both on a card. So in this case, I've been tearing the paper a lot, but I cut the cat out. So that's what I mean, is I like having both textures on the card. Uh-oh. I didn't mean to tear that in two, but I did. Let's see if I can save it. I don't want that. Yeah, I'll save that. I don't want that right now. Okay. We'll wrap that guy over. Nope, don't want to do that either. Maybe I'll... Yeah, I like that better. It's not as big. this one. I'm gonna go down like that. I don't know if I like that. Let's see, go down a little bit less. I feel like my process is sticking pretty close to the original, but through doing this so many times, I am gaining knowledge and like changing it up as I figure things out. So, you know, like the cutting one side thing, you know, cutting one side the way that I want it before I do the other side. That's something I learned over time. And then the fact that I really can't fold over these tiny little pieces, even though it looks cool, it's just better to cut those off because they don't stay, with my current situation, they're not staying folded over. So yeah, this is already taken shape, and I think this is the one that I think, yeah, this is. So in this photo, Wynter was climbing on a log, I think, or a rock, I'm not sure. So I think I can do that, something like that, and then fold the tail over. Just get a little bit of this cut out more. A little bit more of this cut out is what I should have said. And before I do that, typically on the white, I do this creek element, which is just basically the Neo color crayons in a wavy lines. I do the cobalt blue and the emerald green. But, you know, everyone's going to be different. I also didn't bring any clean water in here. It's okay. I'm going to put a little orange down, and then some, then I'll glue the cat down, I think. I don't know. That's what I'm feeling right now. Let's see about this. Messier. The desk is getting messier the more I collage. Might have to take a break and do some maintenance on that. Can you guys work in a messy space, or does it always have to be like super clean and tidy? I'm kind of a mixture. There's a limit once it reaches the limit, I'm like, it has to be clean. But I think this will be good over here. I'll need to cut that. I saw this crazy thing. I'm calling it crazy because it's new to me. But it's about YouTube. And it was saying that people like long videos now. Like, they were saying that the shorts world has like gotten some people where they don't want to see quick content, you know. They want to sit and just relax with content kind of going on. And I wondered if, like, I'm getting comments on my videos that say people love to work on their stuff while I'm doing my thing, and that's really cool. And I'm wondering if my longer videos are, you know, if that's what they're doing, and if my videos are not long enough, or if they're too long. I'm kind of thinking that they're, well, I have this thing in my mind that thinks they're too long sometimes, but then, you know, when people say that, I'm like, maybe they're not, maybe they're fine, or maybe they should be longer. I don't want to try, like, to change something, but I also edit them to kind of keep them less time, and maybe I don't need to edit them to do that. I don't know. Maybe I'll just play with that and experiment a little bit on that. What's the worst thing can happen if I upload a big long video? Maybe this video will be long, who knows? I'm curious about it, and so I'm kind of wanting to just see what happens, you know? I think it's good to stay curious and not feel like you know something just because everyone's always done it this way or whatever. I'm gonna cut his whiskers off because I want to draw them over the thing. So, and I want the creek to kind of show through. We'll keep the whiskers in case. Oh yeah, I like that better. Okay, I think this is good, and I'm gonna glue him down now and wrap his tail around the other side, which is always fun. I'm on cloud 9 lately with y'all's comments and just the support I'm feeling from y'all. Past few videos have resonated with so many people, and it makes me feel like I am connecting with my tribe, and y'all are so kind and encouraging, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Please know that I'm grateful. Cool. I like that. I actually kind of like that I have a little bit of a distance between the last card I made and now, because I feel like it's not such a pattern, you know. I'm rediscovering and also experimenting, because I would forget you know, ways that I've done it in the past. I mean, I don't forget a lot of it, but I'm not on autopilot. Like I forgot that I go through and cut the rounded corners off. So if you're sitting there and you're having days where you feel like you can just stare at the wall and that's pretty much all you can do, I get it. That has been me in the past, and I almost went down that road recently. I get frozen, you know. I'm overwhelmed with all the stuff, and I just wanted you to know that if you do get that way, you're not alone. And even though it might be something you don't think you can get into, just get out your sketchbook and make some marks, you know, and just play. Try to find the joy in creating. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to use the Neo color to make the fur and just see if I like that. So basically I just went through with a crayon and made some little lines. And with a slightly wet brush, I'm going to go through and go over the little lines. I like because I can kind of move the color from over there to over here where I wanted some more on his belly. It's kind of cool. Yeah, not going to go too crazy with the brush or the details of the fur. Just wanting a little bit of a texture on him. Kind of worked out. Alright. Alright, we're gonna let that dry. And yeah, we can work on the back after it's dry. So I'm gonna work on another card now. Work on this one. Yeah, so work on the back of this one now. I like the newsprint so far, I think because I have other graphical elements, other graphic elements. I like the newsprint to be words. I feel like if I have a picture, it takes away from the other graphics, if that makes sense. I'm just going to glue that down. Okay, and then let's see, glue some paper down. I can already feel my energy level feels more relaxed just from the little bit, I don't know, 40 minutes of creating. It's like blood pressure medicine without the side effects. Okay. Cut off. We're going to cut off this because it doesn't need to go, it doesn't need to be bent over. I've been thinking about these cards, and I know I'll have a deck of 52 when I'm done, and I will enjoy them. But I can't help but think about possibly printing, you know, like putting them in the computer and printing them, or maybe making a poster with some of my favorites. You know, people might like that. People have said that they would buy them, and I don't know about like printing a deck of cards, but I know I could print some art prints from them. That might be fun. I just covered that brown paper. That's funny. Well, it happens sometimes. Yeah, I'm gonna cut that off. I glue that again. I think I'm gonna leave that. So I'll just put some more glue on here. I'm definitely gonna put them I'm gonna digitize them for sure. Before, I don't want to say before they would fall apart, but before they are getting worn and maybe falling apart a little bit, I want to digitize them. But I'm also going to go through after all the cards are done, and I'm going to Mod Podge them, which is a water-based glue, sealer, and finish. But, you know, I never looked at this label until a couple weeks ago when someone pointed out that I was calling it Mod Podge, which is funny. Well, it's funny that I was calling it Mod Podge and had no idea it was called Mod Podge. But it's also funny that that was the focus, was that the way I pronounced the word was wrong. Let's see, do something like that. To do something like that, I want to have some paper behind it. So let's do that first. Maybe I'll do something like this. Oh, I'll do something like that. If you all have made cards, a lot of you have said in my videos that you want to make cards and you are getting your supplies together. And if you have made cards, feel free to pop them in the community tab and talk about what you did and maybe how you liked it. And yeah, I have a community tab on my channel and you're welcome to share your art there. And you know, let people see the work you're doing. And it does make me feel good that people like this project so much they want to try it out themselves. Because of all the things I've saved on the internet to try, this is not one of them. This came out of my brain. Oh, that's funny. But you all have said this is a great idea, so I'm guessing that it is, based on, so what do I do here? Let's see, maybe I tear that and come down. I'm gonna do that. This will come down. You just never know. I think I want to get some tissue on here before I cover the rest. So that's the front, and this is the back. Start maybe some lovely teal color. Okay, I paused for a second to find my teal paper. Everything's right beside me, but some stuff is buried under other stuff. I'm going to cut this piece off first. I'm going to cut that. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this on. So I thought I would just go ahead and make these 3 cards on this video and let it be a long one. See how that goes. See if you guys like the longer video. And, you know, I certainly don't mind it because I'm making it. You know, I'm creating while it's recording. But I want to see what happens. My curious mind is wondering. Okay, so that goes over there. The cool thing about this that I really like is this process isn't set in stone, you know? You get to make up the rules for it as you go along. Like, I had the rule in my mind that I had to have smaller art on the back. Like, these were too big in my mind. And then I got a different perspective from you guys. You know, some of you were like telling me that it might really add to the piece. And I was like, huh, you know, I never thought of that. Isn't that funny? All the creative ideas we have, and some stuff just doesn't come through, you know? The signals don't get there. So that was neat for me to realize, and also to I had a brain shift on that. Let's close that or cut it. I think I'm going to cut it, or maybe I'm going to go this way with it. Yeah, I'll go that way with it. So, I'm going to try bigger art on the back because my brain has been unlocked. That level is like, oh, that might be a good idea. Let's try it out. Let's see, go like that or go like this. Or not at all. And just a little piece of yellow. Not a big piece. I like how that's coming together. This side is the front, and we're going to use possibly this Butch on that card, or maybe something like that, because the creek could go here and he could be hovering it. So we'll do Butch on that one, Wynter on this one. I think I'll do him above the creek. This cat, it looks like he's sitting in the creek a lot of the time because he sits as close to the water as possible, which cracks me up. Butch does not do that. But Wynter is like, how close can I actually get to the water without being in the water? And today he was sitting on rocks that were in the water, and the water's flowing all around him. And he's not in the water, but he is sure close to it. Okay. I'm gonna cut these corners and then go around and cut the edges. Okay, I like that side. This side, not loving it. Maybe some tissue paper will increase my admiration for this side. Trying not to judge it while I'm working on it. I think that's important. So many times in my life, I would work on art. I have a painting over there that no one has ever seen except a couple people that have come in the bus, because I hate it. It was my attempt at learning abstract. I did it once, and I really liked the drawing I did that was abstract. But when it came time for you take the piece of art that you made that's a drawing, and then you like find a piece on there that you like the composition on, and then you make that a painting. And when I did that, I hated it. So anyways, all that to say is I can be really critical of my own work and talk myself out of ever doing it again. But I really enjoy this process, and it's helping me not create for the outcome, creating for the process. And I know I say that a lot, but it's just that's how it is. I'm creating for the process. Yeah, I like that a lot better. There's some sticky outs up here that I gotta get rid of because it makes the card not right. My own little rule. You can have jaggy edges if you want. I don't want. Okay, I'm going to move the glue paper over, and I want to see a little bit better here when I got Butch on this paper. Wynter is on this paper, and then Wynter will be kind of thinking this is going to be the back, and this is going to be the front. And I'm going to put some white paper down for the front creek element. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm thinking about a piece that goes across. I'm going to try to tear it in a wavy way. I usually don't, but you can. So either that piece or a modification of one. Kind of like this. So I'm going to do something like that. Oopsie. I will tell you what, I ran out of glue on the glue sticks pretty quickly. I just opened that glue stick this morning. Well, that one is trash. Where's my kitty cat? There he is. Okay. We're gonna cut that off. Okay, let's do some creek work. I really like how that one's working out. That's cool. Okay. It's cool when you like your own thing, you know? Not used to that. I took the little tip of the orange off. Oh well. Something I'm learning is not to hold any of the elements or the whole process itself too precious, you know? Don't need to hold it too precious. Okay, cool. That one, and then we'll do this one. Like that. Like that. I like leaving the texture, and I like leaving the white. Yeah, it's good. So this is actually vellum, design vellum. It's a little thicker than tracing paper, I think, but it's what I have had. It's what I have on hand, and I really like it. It's really kind of cool because this is something that I've had for more than 10 years, and I am just now using it. Like if I really think about it, I've probably had it more than 20 years, but I'm going to go with 10 because that's a safer estimation. I want to cut a little of this off because I want the creek to show through. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, that's good. We'll do some more creek over here. Why not? Spring is really blowing up around here, and the cats want to be outside all the time, which is funny because I built the catio so that they would enjoy being outside without me taking them outside when I do art and stuff, and they do love the catio, but they also, oh yeah, this is the dried out one. This stuff dries out, by the way, if you leave it open for an hour or two. Gotta get another stick. So yeah, the like right now the cats are not outside on the catio, even though I'm on here, but I took them out today with my husband twice already, and they sit by the creek and hunt and watch the butterflies and try to catch frogs, and so maybe they're just too tired after that to hang out on the catio. Well, and as always, I will bend the rest of him over because I don't want to cut it off. Oh, we're gonna go over again. Now we're gonna cut that off. That hasn't happened before. Sorry, Butch, I didn't mean to cut your tail, dude. Okay, so we got two. I need to work on the color for him. And then this one, I'm gonna put Winter around there. Yeah, I'm gonna go that way. Okay. First, I'm gonna erase these pencil lines. This is the one I did a pencil line on to try to keep him smaller, because this was my other attempt, and he is way bigger there. Yeah, that's good. Okay, blue paper. Okay, so I'm gonna work on the details of this one. I think for this one, maybe I will try some blue. I don't know what I want to do. I was thinking about making Winter's fur a different color. Let's try it. I haven't done green before. Might hate it. Might love it. Never know. This is like a darker forest greeny. I kind of like it. What do you think of the green, guys? Oh, too green. I think it's watercolor. Move that around. Also can dab it. Yeah, that's good. Oh, did it again. Okay. It's kind of cool. I'm wondering about inside there if I should do some little bit of blue or something. Like, I don't like this open, airy spot. It can be blue or it can be brown. Let's see. Maybe it's black. Maybe it's gray. I don't know. Just don't worry about it too much. Just get some color or something in there. Okay. All right. Let that one dry. Work on Butch. Got little Butch's eyeball. Crayon or watercolor? Decisions. Let's do watercolor. Just got some green on my brush. Okay, let's try this again. Alright, I paused because the neighbor's dogs were barking quite a bit. But I've just been adding layers of orange on here. Trying to keep his face and maybe under his chin a little lighter, because I know that his markings are a little lighter, but I'm not trying to be super accurate with his markings also. If I was doing that, then it would take me a lot longer and I would be really hyper focused on that. So I'm learning to balance like what really matters. Like, this is a photo representation of Butch, or is it just like, you know, art that is a representation of Butch? And I'm going with the art aspect of life on that one. So I have Scarlet and I have Carmen. Let's see, which one's darker? I think Scarlet is darker. They kind of look the same, but the darker one is what I'm going to go for. So I'm just going to add a little bit of the Carmen color for his stripes, which has some really cool stripes. But again, I don't want them to be super detailed. Little Butchie Boo. We kind of have nicknames for our animals, and it's cute because Kinsey is our big long dog, and we call her Kinsey Coo. In winter, we've been kind of calling Winter Woo, and now it's kind of come to where it's Butchie Boo. So, yeah, I like that. I don't even think I'm going to add water to that because I like the markings and I like the texture and everything. So I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep that Butch, Winter, and Winter again. Let's see what kind of details we can get into and adding some stuff on the back, huh? Okay, put the cards, these away for now. Gratitude leads to love. I like this one. All right, we are finishing up these details on the front. And then we're going to work on the details on the back. And then I think we're going to be done. feel like I'm always experimenting with this process, even though I've made, I don't know how many cards now, maybe 20. And I keep trying different things. Like I kind of went away from doing a regular line to maybe making an uneven line to watercolor around the tissue paper. So it's thicker and thinner in some places instead of more even, which I like that result. I also put some down at the edge, and normally I would just let it ride off the edge. So I kind of like the way that looks. But yeah, it's always evolving, and that's okay. It's kind of fun. Keeps it more interesting for people like me who may get bored with the same thing all the time. I'm definitely not bored of these cards because each card is basically a new piece of art in 3x5 form. I need to put a little more glue there. Or it might just stick down when I put Mod Podge on it. But that won't be in this video because I'm going to do Mod Podge on all the cards, you know, kind of as a bulk thing to do. Just going to go around and pick some of the glue spots and then detail some of the elements that I like to do. But some of this stuff definitely needs to be glued down better. A little glue spatula here with this piece of paper. Come on. Basically put a little on the paper and then I can spatula it under there better than I can with my finger. There we go. And I think actually Wynter needs it on his tail here. Yeah. Butch needs a little bit behind his leg here. All right, now I'm going to go through and do some of the uniball and the gold acrylic pen. Which I started off with bronze, which I prefer, but gold is doing okay. I just ran out of the bronze and I haven't resupplied that. So I've done a couple things on the back here. Some of them I've done stitching on, like with my pen. Some of it I've done like squiggly line outlines. Some of them I just done gold and no shading. So it's kind of a variety I've been experimenting with. And yeah, I think that I don't really have a preference. I think I kind of like this without the stitching, but I also look at this and I'm like, oh, I really like the squiggles, you know, so It's just a preference, really, and it kind of depends on the day or the moment. Sometimes the uniball gets hung up on something and it doesn't mark, and I just take it over and mark it on some regular paper, and then it kind of cleans the head a little bit. This project is helping my brain think about art and not give too much of my attention to world events. I know I touched on that before. Today's a new day. It's always a new day with world events. But yeah, I look forward to coming in here, and it's my happy place. It's my Zen space. Here in the creek, my husband and I were out there this morning with the animals, and it was like, wow, this is just something magical here. I really don't want to ever take it for granted. I didn't do much other colors on the front with tissue paper this time, but I'm okay with that. It's no real rules. I'm making up the rules, and that's the beauty of this. Is like it's whatever I want it to be. That's what art should be, right? Something inside coming out of you, creativity coming out, manifesting on paper or canvas or wood or metal or rocks or whatever you're into. Go around this paper too, just because. Yeah, so I have all of them done on the back. I'm going to put a little cat. I like to put cats kind of hanging out on the back. Just something whimsical put on the back of the card that's different. Go around these leaves again just to give them some more texture. I think for drawing, when I started, or when I stopped trying to be meticulous about it, and I just let my hand be comfortable. Those of us that are older and might have a little bit of arthritis going on, I kind of like the non-perfection of a line, you know, when I can just be loose with it and not have it be like precise or exact, you know. And my hand is a lot happier because I'm not forcing it to, you know, be uncomfortable. So my drawing practice is more enjoyable. Sometimes the clues are there and we don't often pick up on them. That's something I recently picked up on for myself. We're all at different phases in our lives and we draw different ways. But yeah, I'm embracing my squiggles, so to speak. Trying to figure out where the cat's going to be in here. I mean, I have the tail over here. Is that the tail? Yeah. But that's not really enough of a cat. So we'll put, in my opinion anyways, I'm just gonna hide one down here, I think. Nothing major, just a little kitty. We'll go around and do some gold. All right. I like on the craft paper or the packaging paper from Amazon. I'm in this kick of doing dots. I'm probably going to change it up because I do like to do that. So not all of it's going to be dots, but I like just seeing some kind of shimmery thing, you know, on that paper. It just gives it a little bit of a balance. Typically when there's any card showing, like the original flash card, I color that in with the gold. This is like that Chinese, I think it's Chinese pottery where they fill the gold with, fill the cracks with gold. That's kind of what I'm doing. Not quite the same effect, but it's cool. Yeah, this can be, you know, squiggles. It doesn't have to be dots. It doesn't have to be anything. But I like just having a little bit of a subtle texture on the craft paper. I kind of went over my line work there. I didn't do any line work here. It's probably okay though, because I don't want it to confuse with the leg. So that guy's pretty done. I'll finish up this guy. Kind of emulating this flower shape on here. Like I said, I don't really know what I'm going to do with the gold. I just go with it. Whatever just kind of comes to mind. Some of it might be dots, some of it might be stripes. Some of it might be just a outline. I also noticed when I hold things further back. So when I hold things up here, I am more controlled and my arm and my hand tend to hurt. But when I hold things further back, I'm looser and things don't ache and I have a little bit more freedom and things become a little bit more, or a little less tight. That's the right wording, I'm not sure. Whatchy boo. All right. So however long that is how long it takes to make how long it takes me to make three 3x5 cat cards with backs. There's the backs. And here's the fronts. I don't even know how to hold that one. Maybe like that. Well, thanks all for joining me today when I made these cards. Little pieces of art, little cat cards, little art cards. If you have enjoyed a longer video, I'd love to hear about that in the comments. And I'm super excited for all the new subscribers this week. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing my thing, and I'm glad you're all here, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the live on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And meanwhile, I hope you have a great weekend, and be kind to yourself, and remember to be kind to others. Go make something. Are you happy girl, Kenzie? Are you happy girl?